name, please?
Clifford Taylor, the fourth. Where do I begin? November 18th, 2019 was my first video. I was, just average kid in college, playing college football, for my dream school, living a dream, playing for the Gators. And at the time I came across an app called TikTok, which I didn't even like at first. And I somehow, some way got hooked to it, and I just made a video on that day out of boredom, and then I knew that very next day that my life was about to change.
Living fast, bitch, I love the gang, gon' granny eye, get them boys my last. I know my purpose, I know my purpose, I know my purpose, I know my purpose, I know my purpose.
That very next day, my phone literally felt like it came out of the frying pan. I mean, it was just bombarded with notifications. And like I said, I thought my phone got hacked at the time. And little did I know that the very first video I made went, as they said back in the day, viral. And even up to that point, I still really had no grasp or understanding of what that meant. So I let that video sit for about 2 or 3 weeks, let it chill, and then I made another one. It went crazy. Then I made another one, it went crazy. And the next thing I know, I'm on House of Highlights, Overtime, ESPN, any sports platform you can think of. Like, I was on it. As most know, I grew up hooping. And most know I'm from the hoop state. Born in Raleigh, raised in Charlotte. Basketball was everything. It was go D1, make the NBA, or for most of us, bust. So fortunately, my parents always kept me grounded. They always kept me humbled and always kept me on my toes. And fortunately, I was a nerd, growing up. So I was able to get into Florida for school. It felt like I was stuck in a dream, because like I said, football was never, ever, ever in the equation, let alone doing social media and combining football together. Like that was never in my vision. I was a graphic design major, so I would have been totally fine, leaving Florida, graduating and working in graphic design at some firm or sports team or company, whatever the case was, and I would have been fine. As I say, man, God might not be there when you want, but He's always on time. So I would say since 2019, I've just been, making videos left and right about, my football career, my football experiences, life as a walk-on, life as, just a regular student athlete. And the next thing I know, I'm packing my stuff and I'm going to LA. When I was in LA, I was there for 1 year. Really, really, really cool experience. I got to work for the Rams the year that they won the Super Bowl. Like, how bizarre was that? And everything was great until it wasn't. As most know, it's no secret, my leaving the Rams wasn't, let's just say it wasn't the smoothest departure, if you know what I mean. So some of you may have been around for it. Made a video pretty much talking about why I left, and about 2 months later, I think leading up to the ring ceremony, I got hit with a C&D, a cease and desist. They told me, you're not invited to the Super Bowl party, and you're not invited, you aren't gonna get a ring. And in a way, I thought my social media career was over. When I left LA and I came back home, I was already thinking of what's next, because, I think living out in LA and doing social media, it's an entire different beast. And, while there was some good, there was some bad, but I think just being, so far from home, I think that's when I really knew that I was homesick. I was emotionally, mentally, physically, that was probably the worst I'd ever been. And I remember just countless days of thinking, why am I here? Do I even deserve this opportunity? Do I even deserve this moment? And, I think looking at it now, being a 25-year-old, like at the time I was 22, I was just eager. I was eager to probably open any door I could. Didn't really have any thought process. I was just like, yo, let me just kick this door open and see what happens. But, I think looking at it now, it definitely was a blessing that happened in the beginning, because I feel like if it would have happened later, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now, honestly. And in a nutshell, when I left LA, about 20 minutes later after I posted that I was leaving, some people that I knew at the NBA in Jersey reached out to me. And in a nutshell, the NBA saved my career. I thought once I left, I was never gonna get another opportunity, another chance again. Thought it was done for, finito, finished. And NBA came calling and they saved my career. They gave me hope that not every experience is gonna be the same. They always treated me like family from the second I walked in. And they could tell that I had a vision both from an NBA perspective and from a personal perspective. And, you know, at the time, you know, my main thing was TikTok. I was putting all my bread in one basket, but that was the best advice I've ever been given, to not put it all in one basket. That whole summer of 2022, real ones remember, I was posting every day, just every single day, and just seeing how the audience just continued to rapidly just grow and grow and grow and reach millions upon millions. And that kind of rejuvenated my belief and faith. Like, yo, like if I really take this seriously, I could really be something. You know, NBA was, I don't even know how this is possible to this day, but NBA was gracious enough to take me to the finals, you know, and mind you, it was only a few months in. From that moment, I knew that, like, okay, things are gonna change for the better. And, you know, when some of the leads and some of the executives allowed me to put my hands on that Larry O'Brien trophy, I felt like I was seeing a reflection of that 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid in Charlotte, you know, that was going to Charlotte Bobcat games at the time as a diehard fan. Whether they won or lost, I was just excited to be there. And so it just kind of rejuvenated my love for basketball, because, you know, when I was in football, I kind of like dispersed from the game for a little bit. But, you know, like I said, NBA, they not only saved my career, they saved my passion for the game. And so that was an unbelievable experience. And then January 2023, I just decided that it was time to, you know, do my own thing. And, you know, they always say all it takes is one trend. And, you know, trying to set a trend, he's a pretender, and y'all know the rest. So
like they trying to set a trend, he's a pretender.
Stop cooking, boy, the Lakers need a center.
Seeing it go from 300,000 to 400,000 to 500,000, 6, 7, 8. And I kept looking at my phone and thinking it was like a joke. I was waiting for the joke to be over, and it was just like, holy cow, like I got a chance. Like I got a chance. And then I remember two of my best friends were right there. They were right there to, you know, for that moment, you know, and I felt like a whole lot of pressure weight on me was completely off at that point, because, you know, I never in years thought I would reach 1 million people, let alone 100,000 people, you know, and ever since then it's just been nonstop work. But, you know, when you got a passion and a love for it, it doesn't feel like work to you. And that's the thing, it took me 4 years to realize that. A lot of people, they wanna go viral, you know, yesterday, but for me, I had to really figure that out. You know, from someone who almost gave up everything, both professionally and personally, it was just one of those things where I kept telling myself, like do not give up, do not give up, do not give up. And, you know, I gotta give a big shout out to therapy, because your boy was really close. Multiple times. I was in a dark place. I really was. I felt like everything I had gotten from the time I was in college to now, it was just like, do I deserve it? Do I, like, why is all this stuff happening? And it was one thing I just kind of had to sit back and pray on it and just believe in myself and say, God, don't make no mistakes, okay? And that's when I started just pushing and pushing and just pushing everywhere. It didn't matter what it was, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube. And then 2024, another thing I thought would never happen. And I started the year with 20K, and less than 3 months later, I had 100K. You know, I think one thing that just feels soft, like I could say thank you to you guys a million times over, but it don't do it justice. It'll never do it justice. And so, you know, I think now I'm at a point now where I can just tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys for following me in my journey through ups, downs, lows, whatever the case is. And yeah, this is something that a lot of us creators dream of, but unfortunately it doesn't happen for a lot of us. But the fact that it happened for me, it just let me know that, you know, God don't make no mistakes. And, you know, this is only the beginning. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. So I think it's time to open this bad boy. So